अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे परम्पराम्. Okay, so we saw quite a few of the Mahavakyas from the Upanishad. Any questions, clarifications you need on this? Yeah.
You compared similarities between how our thought creates matter and how the cosmic thought. So can you elaborate on that bit from there?
Yeah, I had said that in keeping with Ishvara and creation. I said all creation is from the mind. Like in our system, in our bodies, you laugh. Certain chemicals are released, endotrophins are released. Brain is actually created. That means the thought has actually created them. From whatever material available, thought is created. Similarly, anger, etc. Stress, cortisol, and plus some 3000 other chemicals are there. All by your brain, just by thinking. Of course, the biological paradigm will say, because of these chemicals, your thoughts are happening. Which I would challenge, because if you are sitting down and thoughts are coming in your mind, I can understand that chemicals are creating thoughts. But if I crack a joke and you laugh for that, then the thought has come first. The thought has come first, not the other way around. So thoughts producing matter. But that is restricted to my body. Whatever minuscule matter is being created is restricted to my body. Now Ishvara's mind is what? The whole Ishvara's body is the whole creation. If his body is the whole creation, all he requires is thought for creation. In fact, even thought he doesn't really require. Maya Shakti, at one stroke everything is created. Like how in your dream, at one stroke everything is on. So similarly here. Yeah. Mind, matter, interchangeable. Yeah.
Then you went on to say that then everything is a concept.
Consciousness, this is all within the Mithya world. Consciousness is the basis for the whole thing. Mind, matter, etc. are manifestations. From that one existence, consciousness, etc. Yeah. So, there is no real this thing. That Jnanam Brahma is enough. But Prajnanam, he said, just to differentiate between knowledge, which is thought process, and consciousness. So he has put that yeah. Just to help you interpret, help you indicate that. That's all. More than that, not necessary. Of course, you can give a lot of arguments why what is the meaning of all that. But basically, this is what will come to. Yeah, because you have to interpret, go for Lakshana. See, I am generally means this.
This.
Yeah. But this. And refers to something near. So what is the nearest to you? Yourself. So this Atma. Okay? It also can mean the Atma that we are discussing. This Atma we are inquiring into, is Brahman. Vachyartha. Direct meaning is that. Vakyartha is that. This Brahman we are inquiring into, this Atma we are inquiring into, is Brahman. So this entity is Brahman. Huh?
Vachyartha leading to the Lakshyartha.
From Vakyartha, no Lakshana can come. If there is no Vakya, there is no Lakshana also. If there is no Vakyartha, sentence is not meaningful, there cannot have a Lakshana. Because Lakshana is connected to the Vakya. You say you give up a word, but still connected, na?
You need that word to represent that.
Gangayam Goshaha.
Gangayam Goshaha.
Classical example. So, Ganga anyway has to be given up. So you say Goshaha. What will you understand? How will you bring in Lakshana? Gosha, village. What happened to the village? Can you see, you cannot use Lakshana unless the word Ganga is there. Though it is not the Ganga, it is Ganga Tiram, but still the Ganga has to be there. No? Connected word is brought in, disconnected word cannot be brought in. Gangayam Gosha, you cannot say Mumbayam Gosha. There is no connection between Mumbai and Ganga. There has to be a direct connection. You can bring in indirect connection. Ganga is in India, Bombay is also in India. That's all. That's a ridiculous extent.
Just like a landmark, sorry.
Huh?
Like a landmark. Landmark when you are building in front of that theatre, right?
Yeah, it's the same Lakshana only. All Lakshana will come into it. Yeah. So that way. So Vakyartha is important. Because without Vakyartha,
can't reach that.
communication will not take place. See, it's important because communication will not take place otherwise. Because, why all this? Okay, let me do this thing. Brahman is unknown to you. To the seeker, Brahman is unknown. He knows there is something we have to know. If I use known words to reveal Brahman, Brahman will not be revealed. Why? What are known words? Table, chair, man, woman. Known words. Tree, deer. So a nice herd of deers outside in the morning. Will not communicate Brahman. Then I must use unknown words. What is an unknown word? Swamiji used to say, Gagagugan. What is Gagagugan? Gagagugan is similar to Lodolodang. It's similar to Wonga Wonga. I mean, unknown words, na? Unknown words will not give you any knowledge. Known words are not enough. Can you see how tricky the situation is? You cannot define the truth. To define the truth is to limit it. Which is true. It is not, all these are not piling up of adjectives. The more adjectives you use, the more finite you make it. Why? Itarebhya samana jatibhya vyavartakam lakshanam. An adjective or a lakshanam is what? To separate it out, no? Visheshanam is for samana jatibhya. Sarvebhya if you use, then lakshana will become. Everything. To distinguish from everything. Similar, dissimilar. Same jati, other jati. Jati means class, okay? Jati doesn't mean caste. The word jati always meant class, group. The English conveniently made it caste. This is how the tricks were, to divide a society. Why in North India you'll find Kumbhar is a jati. Kumbhar, potters. Okay. Nyai, barbers. They are not jatis. They were jatis, but they are not castes. They were guilds. And they had guilds in England also. But they deliberately use that word. They use the word caste. India is ripped apart by its caste system. And we fell for it. And the people who fell for it, the maximum were the Brahminical community. Because they were educated, they served the British, and they fell for it the maximum. And they kept all non-Brahmins out. And you had all the problems in Tamil Nadu, Kerala, etc., where Brahmins were high. Wherever Brahminical culture was high, anti-Brahmin movement came in. Have you ever thought why sociologically? Our fault. We kept them out. DK in Tamil Nadu, communism in Kerala. Our fault. Don't blame others.
Does that mean caste system was not there before?
There was some sort of a caste system based on guna and karma.
earlier.
Huh? Much earlier, exactly. So afterwards it,
Even though British came,
correct.
it was very much prevalent in India.
as jati, caste was as jati, they used it. They used it to make it, yeah, I understand
Classified
these.
it as castes.
Because we are all a product of British education. Being a product of British education, we go in by that thinking. We cannot change our thinking, we are conditioned by it. Why? That thinking came to us as childhood. Childhood conditionings are difficult to drop. It takes an effort to drop childhood conditionings. It takes a lot of relearning. Childhood conditionings, I can show you, I can demonstrate how childhood conditioning takes place. My students know this. Who are regular students, they know. I demonstrate with a game how in 5 minutes I can condition. 5 minutes. Yeah. If I was serving the British, I would be a very dangerous man for India. Because 5 minutes I condition. Yeah. I can decondition also. That also can be done. So, this is here the whole thing came. So, jati means just a group. Okay? Yeah. Sajatiya, vijatiya, etc. means what? Jati meant group, that's all. Sajatiyam, same jati. Vijati, different. Human beings, one jati. Animals, another jati. Vijati. Simple. Jati meant group. In Sanskrit, that's what the meaning is. Just a group. Then they got converted into caste, into this. Because it's a very interesting story. This king goes to the rishi. He's all in sorrow, he's lost his son. And, oh, please teach me about Brahman. Because he heard Brahman means Ananda. Then my grief will go. And you know what the rishi says? Tvam shochasi. You are in grief. Tasmat tvam shudraha. Go, I can't teach you. Somebody is crying. Vedanta will, your Ananda, that Ananda will come filtered through grief. It will become Ananda. Then he goes, speaks to his acharyas, that etc., recovers from that grief. Is normal. Then he goes back to the rishi. Tvam Brahmana, I will teach you. Look at it. Grief, tamas, predominant. Shudra, I will not teach you. Now, sattva predominant, you are Brahmana, I will teach you. Actually, he is a king, he is a Kshatriya. The Rishi doesn't even mention it. If the caste system was high, what should be there? Kshatriya should have been mentioned. Bola hi nahi. You understand these things. Sociological import is important. You can't ignore it. Anyway, I was not talking about sociological import, that's digression. I was talking about known words, unknown words. Known words won't deliver, unknown words won't deliver. Visheshanas. Get it? I have not said it. If I am not saying anything, my silence is full of infinite possibilities. Then I utter one word, pen. What has happened? All the non-pens are gone out of your mind. Other than pens, non-pens, okay? Non-pens are gone out of your mind. Table, chair, man, woman, child, trees, deers, elephants. The whole world has gone out. Only pens. But the class of pens, the jati of pens is there in your mind. Okay? Now pens are huge range. I say a gel pen. Fountain pens gone, ball pens gone. All that. Gel. Okay? But still there is a lot of variety. Okay? Then I say Uniball. A particular brand. Then Wilson, Parker, Schaeffer, that all that goes out. More adjectives, I am making it narrower. Isn't it? Then I say gel pen, Uniball, but so many inks can be there, na? Black ink. Then I give a location, that which is there in my pocket. अभी क्या हो गया? From infinite possibilities it has become one finite. Can there be anything more finite than this? Are you seeing this? So, if you pile on adjectives to Brahman or Atma, you will not know. So, are you seeing the tricky situation? You need words to communicate. Swamiji, that is why communication is in silence. In silence, what is communicated? Whatever you want to imagine, you can imagine. Whatever you want to imagine, you can imagine. No? There was this Zen monastery. In that monastery is a custom that any traveler, especially a monk, can spend the night there. Provided you can take place in a friendly debate, non-verbal debate. And if you match the abbot or you win, you can spend the night. Okay? So once it was a rainy evening, raining, pouring, and a traveler comes, another monk comes to do. So the abbot didn't want to turn him away. But if he goes, he was a great scholar. If he goes for the debate, chances are good he will win. And the man will have to walk on. So in the rain, why to make him walk on? So he had a younger brother, okay, who was not that. Said, you go and debate. So he went. So the person, and then he discovered the monk had only one eye. Okay. Sorry, the brother had only one eye. So the traveling monk who had come for shelter, non-verbal communication, okay, showed one. The brother the monk, the brother, the monk saluted and walked away. This is the situation. So the abbot is saying, the monk is walking away, called him back. What happened in the debate? Says, your brother is a great scholar. I said, truth is one. He said, it's made up of Brahman and Maya, na? Yin and Yang. It is two. So I said, yes, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Shen, Chi, Jing. Three. But that, he said, yes, that is true, but it's manifest as 5 elements. I can't argue with this guy. He's got an answer for everything, so I bowed out. Because I had to walk down to the next. I said, wait. Said, call the brother. What happened in the debate? Very rude fellow. He said, I have only one eye. But then I was kind. I said, by grace of God, you have two. He continued it. But between us, we have 3. I said, I'll give you a punch. Then the guy understood not to argue with me. Silence can be interpreted. Be careful, non-verbal communication is important, but it is all your interpretation. That's why when I talked about non-verbal communication to all of you, I talked about cultural influences also. Yeah. So silence, how can you communicate? How can you communicate? Okay, Puja Swamiji, true story. When Puja Swamiji was Brahmachari in Natarajan, okay, there was a great devotee, Sishya of Ramana Maharshi, Sishya who was called Yogi Ramaya. So that time, Puja Swamiji was in Bangalore. So I called him for one occasion to give a talk. And he asked, what would you like to talk on? Maunam. Because Ramana tradition, Maunam, meaning keeping quiet. So, Swamiji introduced the speaker and said, the stage is his. And he's sitting. What is he supposed to talk on? Maunam. You have to see the truth and talk. 5 minutes he's just sitting down. So Swamiji went, what happened? You need anything, something? The yogi tells him in Telugu, yes sir? Telugu. Chitta spandanam ledu. You understand, no? Chitta mind, spandanam ledu, not there. Nothing is coming. Because Maunam, what am I supposed to speak on Maunam? To think of Maunam is to be quiet. How will I speak then? So Pujya Swamiji took the mic and said, look at that eloquence of that silence. He gave the talk. Silence can be interpreted. Remember this. Therefore you cannot communicate in silence. Maunam vyakya prakatikatam paralpa brahma tattvam yuvanam. That teaching was understood in silence. Maunam was a vyakhyanam, the silence that is beyond all thought. That is silence that is there in spite of all thought. There is nothing but yourself. That was the subject matter of the vyakhyanam. I was a guru taught in silence. Our Shishya understood. Thank God at least the Chidmudra was there. Therefore interpretation was possible. But be careful, interpreting this mudra can be like yeah. Next time you talk of mudras, understand. Yeah, lot of mudras. Even I thought this mudra was universally understood, but that is also not understood universally. Okay, so your communication cannot be in silence. You need words. Known words will not work. Unknown words will not work. अभी क्या करेगा? One thing is definite. If there has to be a communication, I have to use known words. But I have to use known words in an uncommon, unknown sense. That is Lakshana. That is Lakshana. So I use the word Jnanam, you know. You know Jnanam. Satyam, you know. Then I put Anantam. Anantam Satyam. Immediately, how can Jnanam be Anantam? How can Satyam, an existing object, be Anantam? Then you start. The process of Lakshana starts. Correct? The process of Lakshana starts. It looks adjectival, it is not adjectival. It is used adjective. Satyam Jnanam Anantam for Brahman. Big black wild elephant. Looks like that. It looks like that. Because of Samanadhikaranyam. It's all being arranged in that order. The sentence being arranged in that order. Ekasman bimbe tatparya. Therefore it looks adjectival. But adjectives are contradictory. Therefore either dismiss the sentence or go for implied meaning. It's not the direct meaning of the words. The implied meaning of the words. The finger that points to the moon is not the moon. Correct? But without the finger? Moon, what moon? Not the red moon. The crescent moon we are talking about. Red moon you can see. If you can't see the red moon, I'll have to ask you like how Taranagiri used to ask. Aankh hai kya batata hai? Taranagiri is a very outspoken person. Simple man. Aankh hai kya batata hai? He would say that. You make a mistake in reading, you would say, aankh hai kya batata hai? So, the finger that points the moon is not the moon, agreed. But without the finger. That is why Shankara's student, Sureshwaracharya, makes a great statement. Vakyadeva avakyartha pratipattihi. By the sentence alone, you get the meaning which is beyond the sentence. Vakyadeva avakyartha pratipattihi. By the sentence alone, you will understand the meaning which is beyond the sentence. By lakshana, by implication. Yeah. That's the only way of communicating. That's how the Mahavakya whole Vichara has come about. Yeah. Because what are we doing? We know that if you define, you are limiting it. We know that very well. Still we are dare to define by using and point out the truth by using the implied meaning of it. Yeah, it's a very bold thing we are doing. Yeah. The truth defined is truth defiled. Oh, but a philosophical statement. Look at it. Any definition is from a standpoint. Table. What's the definition of table? Flat top and minimum one leg. Minimum one leg. Correct? If you go to an Irani shop in Bombay, you will find tables with only one central leg, not four legs. One central leg.
Like an elephant leg.
Huh?
Elephant leg.
Yeah, elephant leg, exactly.
Circular top.
Circular top. Therefore, minimum one leg and a flat top. Table definition. I said, that's table? No, that's wood. What happened to your table? You shift the standpoint, the definition is invalid anyway. So anything defined can be negated by shifting. Correct or not? Okay. Now I am going to define right now. See if you can negate that. That which cannot be negated is the truth. That which cannot be negated is the truth. I am defining the truth like that. That which cannot be negated is the truth. Negate that.
That which can be negated is unknown.
Which
Cannot
cannot be. That's okay. That's corollary. That's coming. I am saying what can be negated, what cannot be negated is the truth. How will you negate that definition? It's not mine. Shastra hai. Abhaditam satyam. ये थोड़ी है, शास्त्र है.
Cannot negate.
Huh? You can't define, you can't negate it. So, how are you going to negate the definition? Because I use the negative for defining. The negation I use for defining. Yeah. Bhaditam is negation. I think that negation, abhaditam, that is how the Shastra works. Abhaditam satyam. Only then it can become anantam. All these are lakshanas. Implied meaning. Because, yeah, words are limited. Who says words are not limited? Therefore, yato vacha nivartante, correct? Words are limited. It can't define it, can't describe it. And the whole thing works because the Atma is not totally unknown to you. It is not totally unknown. It is known as I. Aham, I am. I just said that in the beginning. I is self-evident. Swata siddham swayam jyoti. Both the terms are applicable. By the way, swayam jyoti is not feminine. Huh? Jyoti is neuter. Yeah. Swayam prakasha is called swayam jyoti. Swayam jyoti brahmana in Brihadaranyaka. And they say self-effulgent. And then they think something light is there. Swayam prakasha. Because of that, it is not totally unknown, implications work. That's when all this, that jnanam has to come in somewhere or the other, in some form or the other. Because if I am not, how can you bring in? Na atma ekantena avishaya asmat pratyaya vishayatva adhyasa bhashya Shankara. Not totally unknown. I know I am. So the Mahavakya works like this, in this manner. It communicates by lakshana, by implication. And you can think of anything in implication. When you are implying, you can think of anything. That's why that implication also under structure and formations. A structure and formation is given to it. Jaha Lakshana, Ajaha Lakshana, Jaha Lakshana. Why are you hair splitting with all this? Yaar, मैं मोक्षा के लिए आया हूँ. It's not hair splitting. We have to create the structures. Otherwise, by implication, you can think of anything. No? By implication, you can think of anything. Correct? It's beyond the word, so you have to realize it by whatever. Whole new world can come. Yeah. That's why Vedanta will always be a minority. Otherwise, I can say, one technique I'll give you. 100% material success, 100% spiritual success. One technique. I'll do that. Whole lifetime can go in doing that. That person will get his material success. If he's charging him for it. If he's charging. If he's not charging. Because that is interpreting without a structure. That's why even Lakshana is structured. Why is it structured? Because your mind needs structure to go along a particular way, particular direction. And the truth is seen. Then you find the truth is without all structures, free from all structures. Avakyartha pratipatti, vakyadeva. What is beyond the meaning of the word, a sentence? From the sentence alone. That's why I said the finger that points the moon is not the moon. But without the finger, see the moon? See? Yonder, out there, a crescent moon. That finger gives you the whole structure, where to look, how, etc. Similarly, the structure is important. Lakshana also structured, because without that you can't see. That means, Swamiji, our mind has to be very structured. It has to be both structured and unstructured. Why? It has to recognize unstructured. At the same time, it has to go along the structure. Modern music, unstructured, creative. God knows what it is. Noise or music. Or very structured. Creativity is very little. You have to replicate exactly. Like your Western music, when a piece is written with a one, etc. How close you replicate it exactly, that is your skill. Highly structured. Indian music, structured, unstructured. Raga is there, but how is your creativity in rendering that raga? Unstructured. Can you see? The whole culture was based on that. Structured, unstructured, both. You have a saying in martial arts. You learn it like a science and practice it like an art. The art is the creative part of it. You learn it like a science. Kavita, Harish, Sunita, people, they'll say, "Arey, this feet has to be placed like this only. His hand has to be like that, it has to be like that, it not twist to be, everything has to be." Learn it like a science. And when you practice it in combat, it's an art form. Think it's exactly like that. It flows. Anything in India is like that. Anything in India is like that. Why? Because that's what you need to know the truth. The culture prepared you to know the truth. The understanding of the truth influences your culture. Therefore, when you make very rigid, this is exactly how it has to be. You're Rama. Write him off. Unless I can decondition that mind, he'll never know the truth. Why? Too structured. It has to be like this only. Drop it. Yeah, certain guidelines we follow. We are not rule based, we are principle based. Yeah, but we have great skill in converting principles into rules. One guy was shocked, very shocked. Why? He married a Bengali girl. Okay. Tam Bram married a Bengali girl. He was free enough to marry outside the community. That structure he broke. Good for him. But he checked up. Bengali is also Brahmin. After that, problem started. Why? Why problem started? Tam Bram is typical vegetarian. He will not even eat onion and garlic. What the poor onion and garlic into that? Shastra mein bola hai that is contaminated food. Which Shastra I don't know. Either I will follow modern science or I will follow Ayurveda. In between I won't follow anything. Why? Ayurveda deals with nutrition, food, etc. Or modern science. Take one of the two. Take both if you want. Ayurveda praises onion and garlic in small quantities. But Tam Bram, you will not touch it. There is Jain influence. There is a Samana influence in our culture. Yes, understand that. Huh? Because the Samanas were converting people in South India to Jainism and Buddhism, saying that, hey, we are like this. So the Brahmin Kalama, we also won't eat onion and garlic. What's the problem now? Thank God they didn't become typically Jain. Why? All the things are grown under the ground and half the things grown over the ground they don't eat. Then South Indians did not know what to eat. Half the things are tubers in the under the ground. They were practical enough not to do that much. Sensible. But onion garlic they came. Okay, this is the Tam Bram. I'm talking of structure, that's why. And he married this Bengali girl. Bengali vegetarian is what? Fish? Machar jao. What is that? What is the word exactly? How do you pronounce it? Machar. The vegetable of the sea. Yo. Your ancestor also didn't cook. That's why look at all the fishing communities, what word they will use for fishing. We are harvesting the sea, they will say. I am gathering fish. They will say, I am fishing. That is English word. If you look at the traditional in India, in Malayalam they say varam. Varam means to gather. What is it said in Tamil? I don't know. Or you will gather. Gather, harvest. Harvesting the sea. These are terms used. And then, in great distress, he went to his guru because the guru had said, okay, fine, get married and good. Yo, what is this? He says, if you don't want to eat, you don't eat. If she wants to eat, let her eat. Yo, my guru is also saying that. She is supposed to be my Sagadharmacharini. You are also supposed to be her. So the guru said the right thing. No? You don't want to do it. This guru is also problematic now. Why? Because he cannot give up his structure has become conditioning. Structure has become conditioning. It's a problem. And the guru must have been thinking, isko mein unconditioned Brahman, Satyam Jnanam Anandam, kaisa samjhayega? How will I ever teach this canon? So some gurus decide they will also become like that, so that those characters will think, Guru is okay, let me learn from him. I don't know whether the guru is changing the students or the student is changing the guru. Correct? Can you see, understand what is happening in your mind? Without that Mahavakya, etc., is just pipe dream. Yeah. Otherwise, it will be like this. I knew this martial art is black belt. You got beaten up by 2 people. I said, what happened here? You're a black belt, 2 people only. You're a great fighter. What happened? No. They caught me by surprise. I didn't have my gi on, my uniform. No, in shirt and pant I can't fight. Only my gi I can. No martial artist will say that, but conditioning, over-structuring, this is called. Over-structuring. Condition, structure which is supposed to help has become a condition. Vakyadeva avakyartha pratipattihi. Through this, you use the structure to dismiss the whole thing and understand the truth. That is important because this is how you get your mind ready. Serious learning, suddenly a joke will come in between.
One more time, Vakyadeva.
Avakyartha pratipattihi. Pratipattihi, knowledge, understanding. Avakyam, which is beyond the words or not the words. Why? That humor breaks up your mind. Na? That's cut karke it goes off. Whether the joke is a PG or a joke. It's more of wit and humor that we are using. My jokes are PGs. Yeah, my jokes are all PGs, really. They are not really jokes. Venkatramana, why are you standing under the light with your mouth open? That is because my doctor said my dinner should be light. Everyone laughs for it. It's a PJ. You can't help laughing for a PJ. Why? Look at it. What I am saying, unstructured, this is an illustration. It's not just a joke of unstructuredness. Your mind is going logically. And then suddenly, the whole thing is reversed. Ulta kar diya. And then that's exactly like that. Mind is going logically, and then suddenly, the whole thing disappears into Ekameva Advitiyam Brahman. That's why I say, if you can appreciate a joke well, can I joke fast, you will catch Vedanta fast. Not I said it. Puja Swamiji said that. That's the whole thing. The mind. Structure and break it immediately. Concept, break it. That is the Mahavakya Vichara taking place. So develop a mind like that. Develop a mind which can do that. Swamiji, there must be some techniques on this thing for developing a mind. You're looking for structure again. I told somebody, you should learn to crack jokes, this, that, etc. So she called me home for dinner. So we had dinner. I said, good cook. Swamiji, now I'll tell you some jokes.
First course.
I said, okay. Tell me some jokes. She takes out a paper. I'm not joking, this is paper. And she reads out one. Why do you think I took sannyas? I'm not joking, these are all true stories. I'm not mentioning names, I will not mention names. So I told her, hey, it's okay, ma'am, it's alright. I don't have to be entertained like that. Let's have some normal conversation. serious one. Jokes will come in it, don't worry.
But it was a good joke. No?
Not a joke, that's fact. Yeah.
She cracked a good.
I wondered whether I was becoming the joke. That's not what I mean. Learn to have structure, drop it. Let nothing be a condition. Let nothing be a condition. That's it. At the same time, learn to have the discipline. Yeah. Have that ironclad discipline when necessary. Break it all when necessary. Yeah. What is sannyasa? Following rules or breaking rules? No rules. What's the rules as a sannyasi? Tell me. All the things you're supposed to do, karma, this, that, etc. Given up. Abhi kya hai? No, sannyasi should be like this, should be like this, should be like this. Kaun bola? Sarvam tektam. Dandam api tektam. Even that is given away. Paramahamsa. Abhi kya rules and regulations? For society's sake, some things are followed. Why? Our society won't know how to relate to this guy. Therefore, some things are followed. Normal ethics, etc. are followed. Yeah. Normal ethics are followed. Yeah. That's all. Normal. Culture, which is there in that culture, whatever, followed. That is what will give you that mind which can go beyond structures. You need structure. Without structure, there is no growth happening, there is nothing happening. Structure is necessary. At the same time, you should learn to drop structures. This is one thing our religious people who are religious should learn. Drop that structure when necessary. Use that structure when necessary. Use and drop. Both are to go side by side. Both are necessary. So we make some rules. Yeah. Eclipse. Won't eat this, that, all that. Structure. And you will give some weird logic also. The food will become poison in your stomach. So your system should be clear of all food. Okay. Then they'll make exceptions. If you are not well, children etc. are exempted from it. Why? उन लोग का stomach में food doesn't become poison then? What happened to all your logic? In children's stomach it doesn't become poison. Okay, children have some magic depoisoner in their stomach that become defunct when you are adult and kicks in again in old age. Or after diabetic that kicks in. Yeah. So, you know when to break the structure. You know when to follow the rules and to break it. That's it. Yeah. It's all upasanas. All upasanas worship. Don't try to give too many scientific reasons, it won't work. It's all meant to structure, break it. Structure, break it. This is there throughout because the whole culture was geared to understanding Vedanta. Because moksha was the final goal. No? Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. By the end of your life, once you are retired, minimum. Even before. Yadahareva prajet, tadahareva pravrajet. The moment you feel like walking away to know the truth, walk away. Yeah. Therefore, understand the structuring in Vedanta, as I said, known words, unknown words, all that. How through the words alone you will understand. That's how the whole thing is done in Mahavakya. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, the whole structure. Because I said, this session let me handle all the doubts. I only have a few Gita verses to see. I have 2 more sessions left, minimum, 3 sessions. Enough time. Relaxed, aram se karte. Clear about this? The structure, unstructuring, how the words work. You can't describe the truth, etc. Correct, you can't describe the truth, but you use words. You use words. We define that which cannot be defined. We describe what cannot be described. Lakshanaya. That's important. Lakshanaya. All definitions can be negated, but we use a definition that cannot be negated. Abhaditam satyam. This is like Mrityoho Mrityu. Lord Shiva. Or Narasimha, when you do the Narasimha Sutra, it is there, no? Mrityor Mrityum Namamyaham. Yeah, same way here. The negation is negated. Abhaditam satyam. Bhaditam is negation. Abhaditam. We are negating the negation itself. Abhaditam satyam. It's not a play of words. Why? It is you. How will you negate yourself? Simple. Playing of words, anything can be said. 100 big, black, wild elephants are dancing on my head. Even Kamini will find that difficult to imagine. She's got a great imagination. This is difficult. You can say anything. The only way you can make sense is Lakshanaya. You have a bad headache? But be careful, don't use Lakshanas all the time. Okay? Lakshanas are meant to be used when the direct meaning doesn't work. So if you can say it directly. You don't have to say it indirectly. Just because you have Lakshana. Practice of doing Lakshana. Say everything indirectly. You can't communicate. Your communication will go haywire. Because without the structure, there is no Lakshana. Without the Vakya, there is no Lakshana. Without an unconditioned mind, there is no understanding Lakshana. Without a disciplined mind, there is no understanding the Vakya. Disciplined but unconditioned. This is the beauty of what Vedanta is. This is the beauty of what a seeker is. Disciplined and unconditioned. If you can get that, Vedanta is a cakewalk. Vedanta is a cakewalk. That requires what? Not black and white thinking, appreciating the billion shades of grey that is there in between. This is what the mind is. So your experiences in life you use to get this mind. To get this mind. All experiences of life you use to get this mind. Our culture was geared for it. So culture changes. That's true. Culture will change. Culture will change. That's a natural process. Use, abuse, external influence, all that will happen. It's a good place. Okay, I'm not going into any of the verses, I still have to go into the verses, but I want you to understand how the thing is, what is the teaching, what is the mind necessary, etc. Okay? We'll take a 10-minute break and come back for the next verse.